Hey guys, I'm Jade, and this is Aloe. Oh my goodness. Okay, so today we are doing sort of a fusion yoga flow, a little bit of Pilates in there, a little workout. We are going to be working on the glutes. We're going to be doing a little bit of core, a little front body, but mainly on the glutes. Oh my gosh, Aloe, she's so happy I'm done. And we're going to really work on strength within the legs in that area. Okay, so hamstrings as well. Make sure that you guys have some water, a stable area to work out on, and you may want some blocks. You can use some blocks to modify as needed. This class, I go a little slow at first, and then, oh my gosh, Alice knocking the camera over. I go a little slow at first when we first start out with an exercise, and then I build it up. So if you need to continue to go slow, that's perfectly fine. Just listen to your body and make sure your alignment is perfect. That's key. I'm huge on alignment, so make sure your alignment stays and maintains as best as possible before moving on to speed, okay? That's always something that I preach to everybody. So grab your mat or wherever you're working out, your water, and maybe your blocks. And I hope you guys love this workout. I will meet you on your mat. Friends, so today we're actually going to begin at the top of our mat in a standing pose. So go ahead and come into your Tadasana pose with your feet hip distance apart. Let your hands fall at your side, palms facing forward. Taking a deep breath in, feel your feet just planted into the earth here. Lift your toes up, spread your toes apart, and then just let them fall back down to the earth. As you exhale, begin to firm your navel in towards your spine, building that core strength. On your inhales, think of lengthening all the way up through the spine, out the crown of the head, so the back portion of the head. And exhale, allow your shoulders to soften down. Think of really firming in the side of the hips in towards the midline, which is the center of your body. So feeling your stability here, feeling your center, your grounded feet into the earth. And then finding that length, so pressing down into the floor, lifting up through the body, each vertebra stretching out as tall as possible up towards the sky. We want to soften the ribs into the body, finding that strength within the core. Your next inhale is to reach the arms out to the side and up to the sky. Be careful the ribs do not flare out. So lengthening up through the side body. Let's bring the palms together. Draw the hands into Samastiti and draw the thumbs right down to your heart. So pressing into the hands, finding that center again. Hands are at your heart. Let's reach the arms in Samastiti back up to the sky. And then this time we're going to reach the arms out to the side as we begin to hinge from the hips, coming all the way down to the floor into our forward fold, Uttanasana. So taking a breath here, pressing into the earth and lifting up through the legs, lifting the tailbone up to the sky, allowing the body to soften here over the top of the thighs. So bend the knees if you feel a lot of tightness in the hamstrings. We just want to make sure that that upper body area stays completely neutral. All right, next inhale. We're just going to either bring the hands to the shins or you can bring them to the floor. So straightening out the spine, Ardha Uttanasana, so half lift. And then exhale, let's go ahead and just fold all the way forward again. Press into the earth. We're going to roll up. So rolling the spine in a rag doll, firming the core into around the spine dramatically here. We're going to open the arms up. Keep inhaling as we reach up. Bring the hands right back to Samastiti. Reach the arms up again. Fly them out. We're going to fold back forward, Uttanasana. So forward fold. Halfway up, lengthening through the spine. This time we're going to press into the mat and then step back with your left leg, followed by your right leg into our plank pose. Take a breath here, spin the triceps back, press into the earth evenly through the palms. Make sure the fingers are spread, the core is firm. So we're pulling the navel again up into the spine. Tailbone is pulling down towards the heels. The heels are above the toes, so make sure that you're pressing the balls of the feet back. And then the side hips are pulling in towards the center. Release the knees down to the mat. And then make sure that your hands are right under your shoulders. So go ahead and adjust, knees are under the hips. So coming into your tabletop pose. Take a breath here. Draw the shoulders back, navel's pulling in. Nice strong core. Begin to lift that right leg and extend that heel straight back behind you. So your heel is in line with your glute. And make sure to remain neutral in your spine. So you want to pull the core in. Make sure you're not doing a belly drop here. So nice and strong in the core. Feel your right glutes just firing up here. And make sure that your left hip isn't falling out to the side. So keep it directly over that left knee. All right, and then inhale here again, pulling the shoulders down. Inhale, begin to reach the left arm out in front of us. So keeping the arm in line with your ear or just below. Again, keeping your core strong. Ribs are sucking into the body. Stay here. Keep reaching. So reaching from fingertips all the way to your heel. Almost like you're pulling your fingertips and your heel away from your body. And we're going to draw your elbow and your knee into the center of the body, lifting it up towards your core, rounding the spine up to the sky. Exhale. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale, draw it in, lift it up high. Inhale to reach, find length. And then exhale, knee to elbow, lifting up away from the floor. So really pressing into the floor here, lifting up through the arm and the leg. Reach, inhale, make sure to breathe through this. Exhale, draw it in. This time let's extend, reach, and release your left hand right back down to the floor. And this time what we're gonna do is open that right foot just out to the side and begin to point forward with your toes. We're gonna reach, bring it back. The goal within this movement is to keep the foot level with the glutes. So out to the side and back 2, out to the side, back 3, side, 4, side, 5, side, 6, side, 7, side, and 8. And then go ahead and drop that knee down, sink the hips back into your balasana, your child's pose. Your next inhale, we're just going to come right back up to our tabletop and we're going to switch it out. So make sure the hands are under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Go ahead and begin to lift that left leg straight back behind you. Remembering to keep your heel in line with your glutes, core is firming into the body here. Deep breath in. Find length through the arms, through the body. And then go ahead and begin to reach the right hand straight out in front of you. So as we do this, you may notice that your chest wants to arch towards the floor here. So what we want to do is, again, make sure we keep the spine neutral, and then see if you can lift the arm up in line with your ear. If not, if it's down here, that's okay. Listen to your body. All right, just take note of where your body is today. So reaching as far as you can, fingertips to toes. And then we're going to go ahead and draw that knee and that elbow towards the center. Crunch. 1, crunch it in, lift as high as you can. 2, crunch it in. 3, crunch and lift. 4, and last one, crunch, lift. 5, reach. Release the right hand down, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So we're gonna bring the foot out to the side. 1, 2, running into my plants. 3, 4, try to keep the hips as level as you can when you do this. 5, 6, 7, to the side, and 8. All right, release the knee back down. We're gonna sink back into our child's pose, balasana, quick rest. Take a breath, exhale, let it out. Let's roll right back up into our tabletop. This time we're gonna curl the toes under, press into the hands, and then begin to press the hips straight back into our downward facing dog. So keep the knees bent to start. Find length within your spine. pressing into the hands, reaching through the arms. Find that stability. And then we can look for length in the legs. So you can extend one leg at a time, just walking your dog out, just moving in your body first. Remember to keep breathing. It's just opening up our hamstrings. Remember to keep the core strong here. And when you're ready, extend both knees. You can keep them bent too, if your hamstrings again are really tight. Whew. Take a breath. Just press into the hands. Bend the knees, and we're going to step forward, right followed by left into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. Let's press into the floor, roll all the way up, curling the spine, coming all the way up. Arms are going to come up as we inhale. Deeply here, draw your hands to heart center. Release the hands to the side. All right, so make sure that your feet are hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider, and that second toe next to the big toe is facing forward. Again, find that stability, that grounding sensation within your feet. Let's reach the arms back up to the sky. Hands fly out. We're going to fold down, Uttanasana. Lift halfway up. And then this time, sink the hips back. Knees stay right over top of the heels. Bend from the hip flexors and try to get your torso on top of your thighs. Okay, begin to pull, almost like we're pulling the mat apart right here with our feet, our heels. You can keep your hands in prayer and breathe. See if you can sink a little bit lower. And try to keep your torso down, facing down towards the mat. And when you're ready, stand right back up. Arms come out to the side and up. Deep breath in, out to the side. We're gonna come all the way back down, forward fold. Lift halfway up. Fold all the way back down this time. Hands plant into the mat. Then we're gonna step back with the left leg. Drop the knee. Make sure that front knee is over top of the heel. Bring the arms up into our low lunge. Sinking the hips forward as far as you can here, making sure your knee doesn't fall past your heel. Hips are even, so drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Remember to keep the ribs softening into the body. And we're gonna curl the back toes. Bring the hands back down. Lift the back knee up. Step right back into our plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Pull the heart through, upward facing dog. So shoulders back, press the shoulder blades into the body to open the heart up. And then press the hips straight back and up towards the sky, downward facing dog. And bend the knees, either step or you can float forward. Halfway lift, Ardha. Exhale, Uttanasana. Roll all the way up. Arms come out to the side, straight up. Deep breath in. Exhale, Samastiti. Reach the arms right back up. Fly them out to the side. Whoosh. All the way back down. Uttanasana. Lift halfway up. Fold all the way down. This time step straight back with your right leg. We're going to release the knee down. Press into that front heel, bring the arms straight up to the sky. Find that alignment with the hips and then begin to drop the hips towards the floor. Reaching through the side body. So keeping the right glute nice and firm to open up the psoas muscle. Let's curl the back toes under again. Bring the hands to the mat. Lift the back knee up, runner's lunge. So straightening that leg away from the floor as much as you can. Press the hands into the mat. Step the left foot back. Shift forward, chaturanga. Pull the heart through. Upward facing dog or seal pose if you want to drop the thighs. And then when you're ready, exhale into your downward facing dog. Bend the knees. See if maybe you can float forward this time. So we float forward. We want to look forward. Grip your fingertips into the mat. Sink the hips back. And then lift the hips up to shift the feet forward between the hands into your forward fold. Uttanasana. Lift halfway up, Arda. Fold. Press into the feet, roll the spine up. A little massage in the spine, arms reach up, inhale. Fly the hands out to the side, fold it down. Uttanasana. Lift halfway up, Arda. Fold it back down. Press the hands into the mat, step back with your right foot this time. What we ended on last time, left knees over the left heel. Press into that front heel. We're gonna lift the arms up, staying in a high lunge this time. So our crescent pose. So in this pose, we wanna really energize that right leg away from the floor. So try to keep that nice and straight in the back leg and very strong in the front leg. So pressing into the front heel, let the hips sink down towards the mat. Almost like we're pulling the legs away from each other. Reaching up through the body, through the arms. Arms come right back down to the mat. This time we're gonna step forward with the right foot into our forward fold. Lift halfway up. Again, fold. Press the hands down, step straight back with our left foot. So pressing into the front foot, we're going to reach the arms up to the sky. Find that alignment again. Energizing back with that left leg. Keep the toes below the heel. And see if you can sink the hips a little bit lower. So watch that front knee. Make sure the hips are even. Pulling the right hip back, left hip is pressing forward slightly just to make sure they're aligned with the front of the mat. And then fly the arms out, right back to our runner's lunge. Press the hands into the mat, and this time we're gonna step back into our plank, shift forward, chaturanga, upward facing dog to inhale, and then when you're ready, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, and deep inhale out. Either step or this time try your float. So use your hands as grips. Halfway lift when you reach the front. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the mat, roll the spine up slowly and controlled, keeping the core nice and strong. Reach the arms out and up and draw your hands to heart center. Take a breath. So let's heel toe our feet so they're outside of our hips. Bring the heels in just a little bit. So feet are facing out slightly here. Let's go ahead and reach the arms out to the side and up and draw your hands to Samastiti. Reach the arms up again, hinge forward, reach the arms out as we exhale to fold forward. So you're gonna notice a stretch in a different part of your legs this time. So it's gonna be more the inside of the hamstrings, the back of the legs, but towards the inside. So maybe you're not able to go as far into your fold, and make sure that you're folding from the hips regardless, so bend the knees if you need to. Inhale to lift halfway up. And then what we're gonna do is, again, we're going to sink the hips back. Knees are pointed same direction as the second toe next to the big toe. Again, we're gonna feel like we're pulling the mat apart. Bring your hands to Samastiti. If you'd like, you can bring your elbows on top of your front thighs for a little stability, or you can keep them off. Feel that fire in the legs, that burn. And then what we're gonna do is sink a little bit lower. Your knees are gonna start to come a little bit more forward, and see if you can get your hips as close to the floor as possible. Bring your elbows to the inside of your knees. Make sure your knees and your toes are facing the same direction so you can walk your heels in a little bit, coming into our Malasana pose. It's our yoga squat. Lengthening up through the spine, we're pulling the shoulders back, pressing the shoulder blades into the heart to really open the heart. Try to stay as neutral as possible. If you need to use a block underneath your hips, you can. That's perfectly fine here. Just breathe in and exhale. Make sure you're bending from the hip flexors, that bend, that fold in the front of the hips, and not your lower spine. What we're gonna do is bring the hands to the mat, press into the feet, straighten the knees. So you can bring the heels back out so your toes are facing forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the heels back in. We're gonna lower the hips back down. Bring your hands to Samastiti, back to Malasana. And then this time what we're gonna do is press into the legs and see if you can stand all the way up. Deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Fly the arms out to the side. We're gonna hinge back forward, all the way into our forward fold. Lift halfway up. And then as we exhale, we're gonna sink the hips back. Try to keep the knees above the hips. Let the body just fall between the legs. Stop here when we're about 90 degrees, so keeping the thighs level to the floor. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, begin to exhale, sink the hips as far down as you can. Bring the elbows to the inside of the knees, pressing into the hands. Open the heart, pull the shoulders back. Take a breath here. Hands are gonna come down to the mat and begin to straighten the legs. You can bring the heels back out so the toes are facing forward into your forward fold. Halfway lift. And then exhale, bring the heels back in. We're gonna sink the hips back down, coming back into our Malasana pose. Bring your hands to Samastiti. And then as you exhale, press into the feet, standing straight up. Arms are gonna come up and out to the side. We're gonna fold back forward. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Sink the hips back. And all the way down, Malasana. Bring your hands to prayer and then press. We're gonna stand straight up. Arms come up, out to the side, forward fold. Halfway lift. Hips come back, keeping the knees above the heels as best you can. So you're bending strongly. Body is falling between the legs with a neutral spine. Hips come all the way down, hands to Samastiti. Get ready, we're gonna stand straight back up. Arms come up, and then go ahead and fold forward. Uttanasana. Lift halfway up. Sink the hips down. Samastiti and Malasana. Press into the feet, stand back up. We're gonna go a little bit faster. Arms come up, fold forward. Uttanasana, lift halfway up. Sink the hips back. And then all the way down, nice and slow. Samastiti, Malasana. Press into the feet. Arms come up. Last time. Fly it out as we fold forward. Uttanasana. Lift halfway up. Sink the hips back. Begin to bring them down. Hands come into Samastiti. All right. Press into the feet. Stand all the way up. Arms are going to come up. And then bring your hands right back to Samastiti. Let's heel toe those feet back to a hip distance. Bring your hands up. Arms fly out, folding from the hips. Again, Uttanasana. Lift halfway up. Fold back down. Press into the mat. Step back with your left foot. Press into the front foot. Make sure the knees above the heel. We're gonna reach back up into our crescent. Draw your hands to Samastiti in your crescent pose, and we're gonna begin to hinge forward from that front hip. So keeping that back leg nice and strong. Right hip pulling back, knees above that front heel, pressing into the hands. What we're gonna do here is drop that back knee down, tap the mat, lift it back up. Drop the knee down. This is 2, lift it up. Tap. 3, tap. 4, keep pressing into the hands here, stay centered. 5, tap. 6, tap it down. 7, one more time, tap it down. 8, go ahead and extend that front knee, pressing into the big toe. We're gonna reach the arms up to the sky and then begin to fold from the front hip all the way into our modified pyramid pose. So we're keeping the back heel up, going into a little stretch here. You can come onto your fingertips. Remember to keep the front knee bent, a little buoyancy here to support your leg, so don't lock the leg out. Remember to really pull that right hip back. Take a breath, elongate through the spine. And if you are able to, you can begin to fold on your exhale towards the leg. So drawing the forehead towards the leg. If not, you can stay in a half lift. You're just feeling a nice deep stretch in that right hamstring. One more deep breath. Come back up. Halfway lift. And then rebend into the knee. We're going to press the hands into the floor. Press that right foot straight back. Shift forward. Chaturanga. Right to upward facing dog as you inhale. And then exhale. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees and either step forward or you can float all the way forward into your forward fold. Roll all the way up this time. Arms come up to the sky. And then draw your hands to Samastiti. Catch your breath. Arms are going to come right back up. Fly them out to the side as you bend forward. Uttanasana. Lift halfway. And this time we're going to plant the hands into the floor. Step back with the right leg. So not too far back. Make sure that front knee is above the heel. You're energizing back with that back leg away from the floor. We're going to press into the front heel. Lift the body up. Reach the arms up to the sky. Find your alignment. Find your balance. Get as low as you can. Try to get a 90 degree in that leg if you can. And then draw your hands to heart center. We're going to begin to hinge forward slightly and then go in for our lunges. So drop the knee, lift it up 1, drop it down, lift it up 2, drop 3, drop 4. As I come up, I'm extending that back knee away from the floor. Drop it down, 5, drop 6, drop 7, 1 more, drop 8. All right, bring the hands back up and then float the hands to the floor. We're gonna go ahead and extend that front knee back. Lift that back heel up to keep the hips nice and even to the front of the mat. Make sure that you're grounding down through that big toe mound. So keep that little toe mound pressing into the floor here. Knee is slightly bent to keep a little strength in that front leg to hold you up. Take a breath, lengthen through the spine, and if you are able to, you can go ahead and begin to bring the forehead towards the shin. If not, just find that feeling of release within the hamstring and that front leg. Remember to keep the breath moving through you. It's crucial to make sure you're breathing through all these movements, through all the transitions and all the holds. And then keep the oxygen running through our bodies. And then when you're ready, bend the front knee, press the hands into the mat, slide that left foot straight back, shift forward, chaturanga, pull the heart through, upward facing dog, shoulders back. All right, and then right back into your downward facing dog. This time, let's reach the right leg up to the sky. Reach as high as you can. So lifting from the hip, trying to keep the shoulders level to the floor. So we're only twisting open from the hip here. And then go ahead and bend the knee. And shift all the way forward. Bring the knee into the chest. And step the right foot between the legs. Between the hands. Press into that front foot. We're going to reach right back into our crescent pose. Take a breath. Bring your hands to prayer, to Samastiti. We're going to press into the front. We're going to shift forward slightly, again, like we did before, pressing into the hands, finding that balance. What we're going to do is press into the front heel and slide that left foot forward, standing all the way up, bringing the left knee into the chest. Staying in a balanced pose here in your right foot. Feel that grounding sensation to stay balanced. And what we're going to do is bring that leg straight back as we bend from the front hip, coming into our Virabhadrasana. 3 pose. So remember, like we did in the beginning with our knees on the floor, we want to keep that left heel in line with our glute and make sure that left hip is level to the other hip, so not lifting up. Press into the hands, spread the shoulders away from the floor. And what we're going to do is begin to bring that left knee behind the right knee, drop it down, tap the foot to the floor, lift right back into our Vira 3. Let's do that again. So knee comes behind the right knee, drop the foot to the floor, lift right back into your Vira 3. Find your balance, stay steady here. Drop it down, stay neutral with the spine, and lift back up. That's 3. Drop it down, tap, 4. Drop it down, tap, 5. Nice and slow. Keep your balance and your alignment. 6. Tap it down. 7. Last one. Drop it down. And 8. Go ahead and release the hands to the floor. Coming into your one leg fold. Release the left foot all the way down into your forward fold. Lift halfway up. Fold again. Press the hands into the mat. Go ahead and step straight back into your plank, shifting forward, chaturanga. Pull the heart through, upward facing dog, nice and slow. And when you're ready, exhale, downward facing dog. Woo, very intense little exercise right there. All right, so this time what we're gonna do is lift the left leg up, keeping the shoulders level to the floor. See if you can lift as high as you can. Coming up to the tippy toes of the right foot. And then when you're ready, bend the knee, lift, lift, lift. Bring the knee into the chest as you shift forward into plank, and then step the foot between the hands. All right, press into that front heel, lift the arms up, coming right back into our crescent pose. Hands come down to Samastiti. Find your alignment. We're gonna shift forward slightly here, and then begin to press into that front foot as we slide the right foot forward. Knee comes all the way up. I'm gonna step back because I'm running into my plant. So knee comes all the way up, and find the balance and the stability in that left foot before we go into any motion here. So lift the toes up if you can, spread them apart, press evenly into the foot. Keep the bend from the front hip flexor of the right leg. Knees pulling in, so we're using our core, firming that back glute. And then we're gonna press the right heel straight back as we tip forward here into our Virabhadrasana 3. So heels energizing straight back. The left knee can be slightly bent for stability. If you're a little tighter in the hamstring, which I am, so I have to do this. Press into the hands for that center feeling. So energizing straight back, really reaching through the heel is gonna find that balance and help you stay nice and strong through this Vira 3. And we're gonna bring the knee right behind the left knee. Drop the foot to the floor, so we're dropping the hips down, and then very slowly lift, extend it straight back. So slow so you find your balance. That's 1, bring it back, drop it down, tap, and 2, extend it back. Behind, drop it down, tap, 3, kick it back. Bring it in, behind that left knee, drop it down, 4, kick it back. Halfway there. Bring it in, drop it down, 5, kick it back. Not all these exercises are about how fast you can go. It's more about keeping the muscle under tension the entire time. So moving slowly can be even worse and more intense than going fast. And it's a lot better because you keep your alignment perfect. Okay, 7, last one, extend it back. And 1 more, and 8, kick it straight back. All right, release the hands to the floor, coming into your forward fold with one leg, and then drop the hell right back down into your forward fold. Take a breath. Lift halfway up as you inhale. Press the hands into the mat. We're going to step straight back into our plank. Flow it out. So chaturanga. Heart pulls through, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. What poses were once tough in the beginning of the practice may feel like serenity at this point. All right, so we're gonna roll all the way forward, so like a wave coming back into our plank pose. We're gonna drop the left knee down, and then we're gonna lift that right heel up again, just like we did in the very beginning. We're gonna bend the foot so it's facing up towards the sky, so we're in a 90 degree with our leg. And then what we're gonna do is open the knee out to the side. So keeping the knee level with the hip best you can, just a subtle movement. So open, bring it back. 2, bring it back. 3, bring it back. 4, little movement, a lot of strength and intensity. 5, bring it back. 6, bring it back. 7, bring it back. 8, we're gonna keep going. 9, 10, a little bit faster. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right, straighten the leg back. We're gonna drop it down, lift it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep the core strong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, bring the knee back in, sink the hips back, balasana, let the forehead come down. Take one breath, exhale, roll back up, step straight back into your plank, shift forward, chaturanga. Draw the heart forward, upward facing dog, and then hips come back, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here, and then we're gonna roll, wave it forward into our plank pose. This time, drop the right knee down, make sure it's underneath the hip. We're gonna lift that left heel up, make sure the hips are even to the floor. Bend the knee, so we're in a 90 degree. Flex the foot, and again, we're just gonna bring the knee out to the side, bring it back. 1, 2, keep it lifted as high as the hip. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, little movement, 15, 16. Straighten the legs, straight behind you. Once again, we're gonna tap it down. 1, 2, 3, core strong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knee back down, sink it back. Balasana pose, take a breath. Exhale, release all that energy. All right, let's roll it back up. Step right back, flow it out. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha. And then exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, float forward. If you're working with that today, right into your forward fold. Press into the feet here. We're gonna roll, so really pulling that navel up and in. Squeeze the core almost to bend the back spine, keeping the spine supported. Roll all the way up, head comes up last. Arms reach out to the side, all the way up. Draw your hands to heart center. Samastiti. All right, you guys, I hope you're keeping up with me. All right, arms are gonna come up. Arms come out to the side as we hinge forward. Uttanasana. halfway up, Ardha. Exhale, Uttanasana. Press into the hands, step back into your chaturanga, and then upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up to the sky, and this time we're going to drop it down, lift. Drop it down, lift, 2. Drop it down, lift. Drop, lift, drop. Slow and controlled, lift. Lift 6, as high as you can go, keeping the spine neutral. 7, 8, 8, keep going. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, open the hips up, shoulders are still level to the floor. Let's bring that knee into the chest. We're going to step the knee through, press into the hands, and bring the left knee just behind that right knee. All right, so we're gonna do this. Drop it down, lift it up. Drop it down, lift it up. 2, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift. 4, drop it down, lift it up. 5, drop. 6, drop. 7, knee stays above the heel. 8, 8, keep going. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step straight back, right back into your plank. Flow it out, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Feel that stretch, and downward facing dog. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're gonna lift the left leg up to the sky, drop it down, lift it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure to energize out through the leg. It's not bending the knee. 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lift it up, bend the knee. Bring the knee in, shifting forward, step between the hands. Press into the mat. You can come into TP fingers too. We're gonna bring the right knee behind that left knee and drop it to the floor. So sinking the hips back as we do this. Lift it up, keep the spine neutral. Drop it down, 2, 3, hips come up and down. 4, 5, 6, shoulders stay back. 7, 8, 9, really pull that leg up and in. 10, 8, really pull that leg up and in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step straight back into your plank. Chaturanga, flow it out. Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Let's bend the knees. Go ahead, float forward or walk forward. And this time we're just gonna sink the hips all the way down to the mat, and then bring the hips to the mat as well. And then bring the hips all the way down to the mat. Take a breath here. So bring the hands behind you, fingers facing back, thumbs are forward. I'm gonna take a breath, plant the feet hip distance apart on the mat, and then just pull the shoulders back, open the heart up. Just take a deep inhale here, and then exhale. We're just going to round the spine forward, stretch out the fingertips so the fingertips are pressing into the floor, elbows point back, pull the shoulders down. Inhale as you reach the heart forward. Exhale, press back. We used a lot of our hands, a lot of gripping, so let's just stretch the palms out, give our glutes a break. 3, and heart forward, 4, let's just do one more. Heart comes forward, 5. All right, let's come back to neutral. So we're gonna turn the hands so the palms are facing forward, plant the feet into the floor, shoulders back, press evenly into the palms, straighten the arms, and we're gonna press into the heels to lift the hips up, draw the tailbone down. So shoulders back, lift the core and the hips up, stretching out the front of the thighs, really working the glutes here. You can let the head fall. If you're squeezing the shoulder blades, you should have a little pillow for your head. So feel like you're dragging the heels towards the body, really activating the hamstrings, and then go ahead and drop it back down. We're gonna do that again. So release, shake it out, press into the hands again, press the feet into the floor, lift slowly. And then as we do this, we're not thinking about really just arching the back here. We want to keep the spine neutral, shoulders back, press the shoulder blades together behind you so that you can let your head fall. But we want to draw the tailbone down towards the knees and keep the knees level to the hips, in line with the hip bones. So don't let them come out. Take a breath and then exhale, drop it back down. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then we're gonna extend the legs just in front of us. You can keep the knees bent here. Reach the arms forward, firm the navel in. We're gonna roll all the way back, just like we did standing up in our Uttanasana. We firm the core in, and we rolled all the way up into a standing, but now we're laying. Reach the arms up, and just stretch here for a moment. And then exhale, bring your hands into a cactus. So 90-degree bend, elbows out to the side, open the palms up. Just stretching out the chest a little bit after all that chest work that we did in our chaturangas and so on. Upward facing dog, everything working the front body. All right, so what we're gonna do now is tuck the shoulder blades. We're gonna draw the tailbone down so you can bring the bottom of the feet to the floor. Press into the heels to lift the hips up. So retucking the shoulder blades underneath to find space in your neck. So you should be able to move your neck side to side. Again, we're just gonna roll the tailbone to point towards the back of the knees. Firm the core in, pull the side hips in, make sure those knees are pointed up, straight out in front of you here. Take a breath, drop it back down. So press into the heels, lift it up. Exhale, inhale, drop it down. Exhale, lift it up. Drop it down, tap, right back up. 3, I'm gonna go a little faster now. Drop it down, 4. Squeeze the glutes on your way up, but keep the knees in line. When you squeeze the glutes, you'll notice your knees wanna come out. You wanna keep those knees even. Okay, drop it down. 6, 7, and 8. Hold here. Retuck the shoulder blades. Make sure there's no pain in the lower back. Drop the hips down a little bit if necessary. Really drawing that tailbone down, opening up the hip flexors. Let's drop it down. 8, 7, drop, tap. 6, 5, 4, feel that burn. 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Bring your knees into your chest, a little Apanasana. Okay, so we're gonna do this again a little bit different. So we're gonna bring the feet together. We're on the outside edge of the feet. The knees are opening out to the side, not all the way, but just a little bit. Hands are gonna plant right underneath the hips. Pull the tailbone down. We're gonna press into the side of the feet. The inside of the feet, the inside edge is touching, all right? The outside edge is pressing into the mat. So find that alignment. We're gonna press, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. So we're not coming so high up. We're squeezing those glutes. Knees are out, so we can really go in for a squeeze here. All right, drop it down. 2, really squeeze at the top. 3, drop. You can bring your feet out a little bit. If you're not feeling it or in a little bit, feel what works for you. 4, 5, nice and slow. 6, 7, 8, All right, 8. Keep going. 7. Make sure you have space in your neck, so keep those shoulders down flat to the floor. 6, 5, 4, 3. You may feel this in your inner thighs as well. 2 and 1. Let's come to the top. All right, let's hold its pulse. So just a release, pump it back up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just gonna go to 8. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it back down. Bring the knees into the chest. Appanasana. Squeeze, release, relax. All right, let's go ahead and extend our legs all the way out. We're gonna reach our arms up. Nice deep stretch. Good morning stretch here. Reach the arms out to the side, a little fly, and then we're gonna squeeze the core, begin to lift the head. Squeeze using the arms, reaching forward. Keep the core as strong as possible. So really squeeze, 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 squeeze. Come all the way forward. You can bend the knees, straining the spine into your forward fold here in a seated pose. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and release. We're gonna cross the legs in front of us and then plant the hands into the floor, coming right back into our tabletop pose. Step straight back into our plank, shift forward, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, nice and slow. Doing Appanasana was the opposite of this pose, so we want to go into a little bit slower than usual, squeezing the hips together, and then lifting into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, let's lift the right leg up, bend the knee, bringing it into the chest, step the foot just between the hands here. We're gonna press into the hands and just bring that left knee behind that right knee. Release the shin to the floor. And no more exercise, we're just coming into a stretch here. So we're coming into our Lord of Fish pose. So right knee is up, the heel of the right foot is to the outside of that left thigh. And then the left heel is to the outside of my right glute, if that makes any sense to you. Both sitting bones are even into the floor here. What I'm gonna do here is wrap that left arm around the outside of that right knee. I'm gonna reach the right arm up and then just begin to twist towards my right side. Release the hands down to the floor. Make sure that you're reaching out through the spine, so we're not tipping forward or backwards here. We wanna make sure that our hand is here to keep our spine neutral, pull the shoulders back. And what we're doing is releasing the legs completely here and using that left arm to really pull that knee in towards our body. Now, when you're in this position, I want you to really think about elongating through that right hip flexor down towards the floor. And that's gonna go deep into the piriformis on the right side, which is the area that we worked very, very hard today. So make sure that you breathe in, full deep breath in, maybe holding at the top, exhale. So you can relax into this pose. Couple more breaths, nice slow fluid breaths in and breaths out. Last breath in. And as we exhale, we're just going to release and then bring our hands to the front of the mat. Press into the hands, press into the front, heel step right back into our plank. This time, let's just lift the hips up into our downward facing dog. So this time we're gonna reach the left leg up, bring the knee in, and then step between the hands. So I'm gonna be backwards to you guys. We're gonna bring that right knee behind the left knee, bring the shin to the floor, release the glutes to the floor here. So same as before, left foot this time is to the outside of that right thigh. The right heel is to the outside of that left glute. So we're on both sides here. And then the left knee is up, okay? Right knee is on the floor, pointed forward, so the way I'm facing right now. We're going to bring that right arm to hook around the front of that left knee. All right, reach the left arm up, twist to your left side this time, and then just bring the left hands to the floor. See how I'm doing a little TP fingers to keep myself nice and neutral in the spine, elevated straight up. Hug that left knee in. So my left knee is to the inside of my right elbow. I'm just pulling it in, going in for a little twist here with my spine, just to release some of that energy, making space for some positive energy, some fresh oxygen into my blood cells to restore, repair, and rebuild my body. Remember to breathe deeply. Filling the lungs, expanding the ribs out, stretching the muscles in the ribs as well. And pulling that hip flexor towards the floor on the left side, elongating that stretch in the left piriformis. All right, when you're ready, release and twist all the way around. Bring your hands to the front of the mat. Step into that left foot. Step straight back to your chaturanga. This time to your plank. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Exhale, release. All right, one more time. We're going to reach the right leg up. Bring the knee into the chest, and then bring the knee to drop behind the right wrist. Toes are going to point out towards the left side of the mat. They can point back a little bit. Drop the left knee to the floor, coming into our pigeon pose. So walk that left leg straight back. Make sure the leg is directly behind you. You could keep your hands into the mat here just to keep your body upright. Or if you're feeling a little bit more open today, you can begin to bring your elbows down to the floor. Most importantly, we want to make sure that we're keeping the hips even, and see if you can bring the hips down as close as possible to the floor. Our knee is to the outside a little bit of the shoulder. And just breathe. You can rock the head out here just to release a little tension in the traps and the shoulders, the neck. Again, we're going into the piriformis and the glute muscle. It's a nice stretch. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, if you're on your elbows, come on, back up to the hands. We're gonna curl the back toes, lift the knee, step straight back, plank, and downward facing dog. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So left leg's gonna lift up, bring the knee into the chest, and then drop it just behind that left wrist. Toes point out to the side or pointing back slightly. Let's drop that right knee to the floor, walk the leg back. Keep the hips even to the front of the mat the best you can. You can stay here, walking the hands back so you're able to stay upright. Or again, you can drop down to the elbows. Or maybe some of you are able to go all the way down flat, releasing the body to the floor. So listen to your body. We're looking for that stretch, that sensation of release in the piriformis, the glute area, while maintaining our position in our body properly. So making sure that our alignment stays proper. And if you notice that your body is twisting and turning and doing funny stuff, then back off just a little bit. It's not about how deep we can go, it's about how deep we go for our body's perfect alignment. Remember to keep breathing. As we're able to breathe deeply, our bodies will begin to open up and relax. And then we can notice that we're able to go a little bit deeper and soften into these poses. That's where we find the truest and deepest release and progression. It all begins with that breath. Take one more deep breath in. And then bring yourself back upright if you were down. Curling the back toes, lifting straight back into our plank pose. Pressing back, downward facing dog. Let's just walk all the way forward this time. And then we're just gonna sit right back down onto our mats. You can meet me in a Sukhasana pose or a kneeling pose, whatever feels comfortable for you. We're just gonna close our practice out. So find that comfort, sit up nice and tall wherever you are. Closing the eyes. And on your next inhale, let's begin to open the arms just out to the side. Almost like we're giving a big hug to the sky, reaching up. And bringing the hands together, drawing all that positive, pure, replenishing energy right down to your heart, dropping your chin down, and just bowing down to yourself for showing up and giving it your all today, taking the time to build you, to build your body, build your mind, build your presence. Thank you for letting me guide you in this practice today. I hope you feel good. I hope you feel strong and maybe a little bit more open. Till we meet again, namaste.